One of the most underrated Disney movies, The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Love it. This is a masterpiece. There are problems with it, but I think it is a Disney masterpiece. We got The Hunger Games. This really shocked me how good it was the first time I watched it. Love it. Then we got The Hunger Games Catching Fire, which some argue might be better. And, yeah, it might be a little bit better. Then we kind of dip in quality. The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1. It's okay. It's definitely the most talky of them and the most boring. Then we got The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2, which somewhat redeemed Part 1. But, I don't know. I think the first two are way better. We got The Hustler. And you got the sequel, The Color of Money. In Bruges. Inception. I really misunderstood this movie the first time. I love this movie now. Watched it a second time. It is amazing. It really is. Got the Invisible Man Complete Legacy Collection. I mainly only like the first one. Comes with The Invisible Man Returns, The Invisible Woman, Invisible Agent, The Invisible Man's Revenge, and Abbott and Costello Meet the Invisible Man, which is actually pretty funny. But the first Invisible Man movie, you can't beat that. And I didn't really care for that new remake. The Incredibles, one of the best Pixar movies. Incredibles 2, pretty good sequel to The Incredibles. I didn't think it was like amazing necessarily, but it was pretty good. Independence Day, kind of a guilty pleasure. We have another one of the greatest trilogies of all time right here, The Adventures of Indiana Jones, the complete DVD collection. Of course, this was before Kingdom of the Crapper Skull came out. But look at that. That is some really nice artwork right there. That is great. Of course, it comes with Raiders of the Lost Ark, which will always be the official title to me, not Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, which I actually kind of grows on me every time I watch it. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, my favorite of the three. And then you got the bonus material disc. Very insightful stuff right there, very interesting stuff. Then you have Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I tried giving it another chance. Yeah, it has so many problems. Inglourious Basterds, great Tarantino movie. The Innocents. Interstellar, haven't checked it out yet, but I will soon. Interview with the Vampire Chronicles. I did not like this movie. In the Company of Men. Now, this is a difficult movie to watch. Probably the darkest dark comedy I've ever seen in my life. For those of you that have seen it, you probably know what I'm talking about. But it's a very uncomfortable movie. Maybe I just need to give it another chance. And I usually don't get offended by dark humor and stuff, but I don't know. It seemed almost too dark even for me, and I love dark humor. And we got Into the Wild. I think this is one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life. It's a beautiful movie. Definitely check that out. Invasion of the Body Snatchers. This is the one from 1978. I have not seen the original, unfortunately, but this is a really good remake. The Iron Giant, one of my favorite animated films of all time. Now that should be seen as a classic. You never really see it on like greatest animated movies list or whatever, but that is a classic. I don't care what anybody says. The Italian Job, the remake with Michael Caine, you see, not that remake with Mark Wahlberg, you see. It Happened One Night, great classic film. From 1930, when was this? 1933, 34? Yeah, great romance movie. I'm not a big romance movie fan, but that is a great one. It's a Mad, 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 Mad World. It's a Wonderful Life, one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life. Very good movie. We have the Jackass 7 movie collection, which comes with the first three and Bad Grandpa. And it comes with the unrated version of... It comes with Jackass 2.5 and Jackass 3.5 and Bad Grandpa 0.5. So I haven't seen those versions, but these are so dumb, but Can't help but laugh at them. Here's the Jack Ryan 5-pack collection. The Hunt for Red October, Patriot Games, Clear and Present Danger, The Sum of All Fears, and Jack Ryan Shadow Recruit. I think Sum of All Fears is the worst, and the best is The Hunt for Red October. That is a classic. Great movie. Jackie Brown, I think Tarantino's most underrated movie. This is a masterpiece. Check that out if you're a Tarantino fan and have not seen it. Jailhouse Rock, probably the only decent Elvis Presley movie. Pretty good. Great songs. Jason and the Argonauts, great great film with a lot of great Ray Harryhausen stop motion effects. I love stop motion. I'm just a sucker for stop motion animation. It's just something otherworldly about it. It's just, I love the way it looks. Now, anybody who says this movie sucks, then I just don't trust you as a person. Jaws, one of the greatest movies ever made. Masterpiece. Jaws 2, not so good, but it's the best of the Jaws sequels. It's good if you want to see more Chief Brody. Unfortunately, I don't know why they couldn't get Richard Dreyfuss back, but I wish they had him for that. This is one of the funniest movies ever made to me. The Jerk. I don't think you'd be able to make this movie nowadays, unfortunately, because people just don't have a sense of humor anymore. This is one of my favorite movies of all time now. JFK. This is one of the best movies I've ever seen. This movie, every minute of it is riveting. It is 3 hours, at least its director's cut is, but every minute of it is riveting and just... even though some of it is a little... may take some liberties from what really happened, but it's still a good movie either way. A damn good movie, in fact. Jumanji. Jumanji. Childhood classic. I do not care to see those new sequels. My favorite Disney movie of all time right here, and one of my favorite movies of all time, The Jungle Book. Love this movie to death. This has a big, special place in my heart. Juno, I think most people agree, is nothing too special. Jurassic Park Ultimate Trilogy comes with 1, The Lost World, and 3. Really, you don't need the other 2, you just need the first one. The Karate Kid collection comes with part 1 through 3 and the remake, which is okay. As long as it doesn't come with the next Karate Kid with Hilary Swank, then you're good to go. Kick-Ass. Kick-Ass 2, a little underrated. Kill Bill Volume 1, which I prefer over Volume 2, but they're both damn good. Kill Bill Volume 2. Kind Hearts and Coronets. King Kong. This is actually my favorite version of King Kong, the classic 1933 original. I do like the other versions, but you can't beat the original 1933 version. Then you have King Kong 2005, the Peter Jackson remake. I liked it a lot better the second time. It looks great on Blu-ray, by the way. You have Kong Skull Island, which is decent. That spider scene where they're in like the bamboo forest, that is awesome. The King of Comedy. This is a great lesser-known Martin Scorsese dark comedy. Check that out. You've got to check that out. Kingpin. Pretty funny Farrelly Brothers movie. Next we got Kingsman: The Secret Service. This movie was so much fun to see in the theater. I had a blast in the theater seeing that. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. This isn't as great as everyone makes it out to be. I think I need to give that another watch. Labyrinth. Great 80s fantasy film along the lines of Return to Oz, which I also love, but this is really good. LA Confidential. Really great movie. LA Noire is one of my favorite video games of all time, and I think it borrowed a lot of elements from this movie. If you love this movie, play LA Noire, and vice versa. If you love LA Noire, watch this movie. Next we got Unfaithfully Yours. This is probably one of the funniest movies I've ever seen in my life. This is from 1948. Has what's his name, Rex Harrison, and this is a comedy classic. Unforgiven, one of the best westerns I've ever seen in my life and one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life. Love it. United 93. The Untouchables. Pretty good mob movie. Up. One of the most emotional movies I've ever seen in my life. The Usual Suspects. This is one of those movies I just don't get. Like, I don't get why everyone hypes it up so much, because I saw the twist coming as soon as the movie began, almost, you know? Just, it wasn't as surprising as everyone made it out to be. V for Vendetta, great movie. The Verdict. Great Paul Newman performance. The Virgin Suicides, I was really disappointed by that. Wallace and Gromit, The Curse of the Were-Rabbit. Wall Street, great Oliver Stone movie. The Warriors. Watchmen. Oh, this is an underrated movie. This movie, I think, gets more and more recognition, but it needs a lot more recognition. Underrated masterpiece. West Side Story, which I think Spielberg is remaking for no reason. I don't know why they need to do that. What About Bob? One of my favorite comedies and movies of all time. Hilarious. Wall-E. When Harry Met Sally. Pretty good romantic comedy. Whiplash. Really good film. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Childhood classic. One of my favorite movies. The Wicker Man, one of my favorite movies of all time as well. I have not seen that crappy Nicolas Cage remake. Not the bees! Not the bees! I have not seen that version, but this is I don't know, this just has... it's just so good, I can't explain it. I'll probably do a video on it one day. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Classic. Don't really care for the remake. The Wild Bunch. With Nell and I. This is one of the funniest movies ever made. If you love British humor, check this movie out. We got The Wizard of Oz. Classic. Classic. Then you have what I actually prefer over The Wizard of Oz, Return to Oz. I love this movie to death. I watched it when it came on TV when I was like 5 or 6 years old, and this movie blew my freaking mind. Terrified me a little bit too, but really good. The Wolf of Wall Street. Let me tell you something. Margot Robbie is where it's at. Wow. A Woman Under the Influence. The World's End. That's the last of the Cornetto trilogy. Wonder Boys. I was really disappointed by this. We got Lady and the Tramp. One of my favorite Disney movies. Definitely, there I go saying definitely again. But it is a Disney classic, and I don't know why they have to keep remaking all these Disney movies with these live action Disney movies. It's lazy. We have The Lady Eve, pretty good classic comedy. The Lady Killers, not the remake. The Lady Vanishes, one of Hitchcock's first movies, and not one of his best, but it's okay. La La Land. The Last of the Mohicans. The Last Picture Show. The Last Seduction. This is a pretty good, like, I think it's got like a cult following. It was I think it was released theatrically, limitedly, but it was mainly a HBO movie. But it's a really good, it's a pretty good movie. I'd say check that out. Lawrence of Arabia, a classic. I think maybe a hair overrated, but it is a good movie. It is a good movie. Layer Cake. Leave Her to Heaven, really good thriller from 1946. Really good thriller. Leon the Professional, one of my favorite movies of all time. Love this movie. One of Gary Oldman's best villain performances. Les Miserables. Have not seen it yet.